Season of the Deep, the season that would not have your typical format, the season that features underwater gameplay, the season that raised the price of the seasonal model, but the season that was to progress the story. The question is simple, is it worth your time? I think at this point, I've been pretty fair, if not more cynical when it comes to Destiny. But is this one really different? Should you put away Tears of the Kingdom to play more Destiny 2 this season? It's... verdict at the end of this video! Dungeon is Friday, so be there at twitch.tv/EvanF1997. Also, there's a new 2 gifted sub emblem that comes out this Sunday for anybody interested. And gamer subs will have a new flavor that I've been addicted to, but I can't talk about yet. So go get the app or go to the website and use code Evan, you cute, sexy son of a bitch. Look, I'm going to break down how this season really is, because at this point, I've been broken by the Lightfall story. It's not bad. In fact, if you like stories, this one offers way more progression of what the hell is going on than Lightfall. I think I've already become more invested than the Callus storyline in Lightfall. Players are pretty damn split on this one though, but I'll go through everything and give some thoughts along the way. First things first, the season costs $12 instead of $10. And while I think we can all agree $12 is still a bargain for what seasons offer in terms of general content, and most players who have stuck with Destiny are probably in it for the end of the 10-year journey regardless, I still think it's a sleazy move to make a new bundle of silver $15 with a bonus of 200 silver, or you can buy the $10 bundle with a bonus of 100 silver. This forces people to spend 15 bucks regardless. I saw a lot of people say that other games do this, and it doesn't make it all right, bucko. Sit down, the adults are talking. Only for Destiny can a game look this mesmerizing, carrying the player with buttery smooth gameplay in tandem with abilities to master in a first-person setting, while also managing to somehow scrape together a game running on your dad's rusty Stairmaster engine, then also have the most up-to-date sleazy business practices at the same time. It's like these silver-only shaders. Why? Why are you doing this? Your game slaps. You're owned by Sony now. You don't need the money. Stop doing this. I want to brag about you, but you make it so damn difficult. Speaking of Sony, man, I wish these ornaments were for Bright Dust at this point. In fact, in the season that costs more, you'd think that Bungie would offer a lot more ways to earn gear. But look at how much more is for silver only this season. Seems a little weird. Pull it back, please. The big sell of the season was the underwater atmosphere. Gunplay underwater? A whole new way to play Destiny? I think there's about what I expected out of the underwater setting. No, there's not gunplay underwater. In fact, there is only a mechanic of falling down and bee-hopping around. Bee-hopping is carrying momentum into jumps for extra distance, by the way, in case you didn't know. And the challenge just boils down to grabbing little air bubbles around you. There's some environmental fun and life to the areas, but it's about what I expected the game to be able to handle on the old tech it's running off of. That being said, the activities were better than the normal season. In some ways, I think the Salvage 6-player activity is a bit of a wait and see, like every activity, but this was supposed to have roguelike elements, you know, like Hades or Risk of Rain 2, Binding of Isaac. Basically, in these types of games, you get random progression and have to think on your feet about what decision you make in each level of whatever challenge you face. I've always wanted it for Destiny. That's what keeps it refreshing. And I really did not notice the roguelike elements except for starting the activity in different spots. I really wanted proper roguelike for Destiny and was hoping that Salvage would be that activity. I'm really hoping Bungie doesn't stray away from roguelikes because I think it's the ultimate way of offering replayability in a game like Destiny. Power-ups, different rewards, different routes every single time. One big roguelike could go a really long way. My cynical brain also thinks that this might mean no new locations for Salvage, as Bungie may have slapped together 3 weeks of places into one, but I'm hoping for more here because so far it's alright, and it seems a lot of people are on that side too. After your first mission with this amazing line,
I am the mountain upon which all swords shatter! Hone your edge against me! How about no?
And the salvage we just talked about, it's time to do the new deep dive story progression. And it's alright. There's more tense diving that reminded me of Call of Duty's first raid activity a little bit, with some pressure to hit switches and look for air, but it's not pushed in any meaningful way that would make you ever panic about the bubbles of air. And I'm hopeful the new dungeon really does push this to an extreme if it has an underwater section. The boss is, well, remember that seasons do get sunset still. So yeah, you remember our friend who's overseeing nothing in the Prison of Elders? Hello. Again, the seasonal story takes a big step up in quality as we are finally back to talking about things players care about, even if some of the bosses are, well, redos from before. It was pretty obvious if you even paid a small amount of attention or kept up in any way to the seasons of the Witch Queen as to where we were going next. And I've been saying this forever, but we have a roadmap that tells us what each year's DLC is called, so just kind of fill in the blanks to get to the place. This story, I will say, is refreshing, and it goes to show my theory that Bungie's writing team is solid, but the format of the game's seasonal storytelling suppresses the ability to deliver a perfect story every time. That being said, Season of the Deep has me interested. Please, let me on that hook. We'll get to the fishing later. When you exit the story, you're introduced to the 3x7 oh, that's not there anymore. Joe Blackburn a long time ago talked about how each season after season 21 would be a new shakeup to the format, and I was really interested in what they were going to do. But I was not expecting them to already make some changes. This time, the upgrades are not tied to doing the activity once a week. They're in a new spot now. I'm sort of joking because, like all bad YouTube jokes, there's a hint of insecurity and truth to what is being said. Bungie didn't really change a lot. Well, what can they do? The model is set in stone, and other games are finding ways to copy it. Look at Overwatch. They scrapped PvE to put it in a live service seasonal story. Bungie are trendsetters in the seasonal format, so it's not going anywhere. But I do think I like the way you upgrade a bit better now, since we have to complete little challenges that would normally be triumphs to get the upgrades, and it's mostly not time gated. The best upgrades, yeah, you knew those were going to be time gated. Take that how you will, and I'm cautiously optimistic to see what they come up with in Season 22. Final story before the dungeon, which of course I will save my thoughts for the dungeon video, but I really like the new aspect mission. I felt this was a much higher quality mission than I was expecting, and there's some great talks about Savathun, motivations, some really over-the-top expository dialogue with Osiris that gives some crazy backstory about the Ishtar Collective. Like, here, have a listen.
Of Chioma Essie and her wife, Maya Sandarish. They were Ishtar Collective researchers on Venus during the Golden Age.
Is this all there is? The one log?
No, there's an entire archive here. It could be the key to unraveling the mystery of the Veil.
Not because they...
But I liked it, and I hope every aspect quest has some new beats to get invested into. The aspects are also really strong, which is an added bonus. But look at this hand cannon. I mean, come on, that's the new hotness. You remember that hand cannon that was and then wasn't on every piece of Lightfall promo, right? Well, it's here and it shades amazing. Feels even better to shoot and has the perks of a ritual weapon? You can almost tell this was an exotic that was scrapped, but I don't work on the floor room of Bungie, so who knows. If you're a PvPer, this might be worth picking up. Even if you're just a player of the game, you can at least appreciate the design, and you should go shoot this weapon if you can. The main activity I see saving the playtime of this season and the foreseeable future of fun in Destiny, dare I say the best thing Bungie has put into a season, is the fishing. It's not mechanically complicated, even easier than Pokemon fishing, which, come on Bungie, but goddamn is it satisfying, relaxing, and it's rewarding. Fishing on one of the 3 locations feels like a major win, with rarities of fish that match Destiny's style, and some funny references if you pay close attention. The green and blue fish offer reputation, while legendary gives you loot from the season, and there's even an exotic fish that drops a golf ball and a high stat exotic armor piece. These are infinitely farmable, but bait, which can be earned anywhere, is the loop to get you eventually out. The nice part is that you can hold 500 bait. Seriously, outside of the dungeon, fishing is the best part of the season, especially building your aquarium with rare fish and seeing all the cool references to other seasons around. The feeling of getting an exotic fish felt, dare I say, better than getting any RNG exotic in this game right now. If you missed that feeling of getting exotics at random like the olden days, this might be worth your time if you just want something to do to relax and enjoy. For the loot enjoyers who played from March 2019 to now, you were unsure if you're allowed to be happy. There are 12 new, you can't see my fingers, why am I even gesturing in air quote? 12 new seasonal weapons. I think players will be insanely conflicted on this, because on one hand, you do get some weapons with new perks and even different archetypes on the older models. On the other hand, this is about as lackluster of a feeling as possible. You will almost feel guilty using the Taken reprised weapons as you will the reprised weapons. That's right, Bungie put all the Reckoning and Gambit Prime weapons twice as rewards, so get used to using them. I know I felt guilty using these because for my critical brain, I don't enjoy weapons coming back unless they have a true purpose and serve to push the game forward. But then again, the monkey brain in me says I like explosions. There is other things like builds, updates to exotic weapons, a new sniper in comp, Randy's throwing knife in PvP, ritual weapons, the normal stuff you'd hope for with some added bonuses, but they did add exotic focusing for exotics that are not in the lost sectors. And I like this a lot. Finally, I can choose the exotics I want from world drops and take away the guessing. Is it a season seller? No. Will it make things a bit more fun to jump back in? Yes. Last Wish got some refreshes on loot and red borders that you need to talk to, let me check. Fuck it, Hawthorne. Squaw! There is a solid variety of new roles to chase and even a new origin trait. So that's nice for raiders who want some loot. Expect my first ever remastered raid video this season on Last Wish. Exotics are all about what you'd expect. There's some functionality, overlooks exotics. There's some frustratingly overpowered for PvP, bad for PvE exotics. There's your middle ground, and there's, you know, Destiny at this point. It's another exotic that serves to function with your builds. This time, Ikora is selling 3 subclass exotics for newer players, and I like this because it gives players a chance to use some stronger stuff early. I can only hope they update the end game eventually now that the early game playing field is unbelievably strong. I know a lot of people, self-included, were annoyed Bungie sold a Starfire Protocol ornament the day of the big nerf, but seeing Ikora selling this, it makes more sense they wanted it to go with new players getting this exotic and didn't put it in Eververse to poke at the base. Still a really odd and business move. For the Crucible players, there is a returning Mars map, Meltdown. One of the better maps that was sunset, so maybe hop on for that. Strikes, on the other hand, I couldn't see any new changes. I thought there were supposed to be changes, but I didn't notice any changes so far. The dungeon comes out soon, and you know, this season has left me split more than a lot of them. The pros are found in the story, the loot, the exotics, and especially the fishing. They all work in tandem to create a better season than most of them. But that being said, this is very much a Destiny season, with those weird practices that make you feel guilty for enjoying the game. Look, I totally see no issues in spending more. I don't care that the water sections are really basic and not pushed very far. Nor do I care that the seasonal grid is really just the triumphs ripped and placed into bonuses, because I even like this idea. What I don't like about this season is Bungie pushing the limits of annoying business by releasing the insane amount of Eververse bundles for silver. The fact that you have to overpay for the silver, and a lot of the Eververse is for silver only. Point is, the business has become very annoying in this game, and the line has been crossed in my opinion. Plus, I didn't even tell you guys that the servers didn't work for 7 hours today, because that part doesn't matter in the grand scheme. We will all have fun, but it just feels off enjoying the game when the business side does the most scuzzy stuff. I am totally fine with Bungie existing as a business. I mean, it's how they are able to keep people fed and the lights on. But sometimes it's way too much. And this has to cross the line. So slap that like button and play the season if you're addicted to Destiny. Skip it until the next raid season if you're a yearly player. And wait until light falls at the end of the year if you're just kind of disconnected. I'll see you guys later.